Hi everyone, welcome back. Playing Chapter 2, Master Ninja, Ninja Gaiden 2. Okay, at the beginning of this fight, you have a IS Ninja that will spawn behind you, and then there'll be several other ones come in front. So what I try to do is take that guy out as quickly as I possibly can. I was lucky and got an Azuna drop on him. And I had to use some nympho just to be on the safe side, because I'm not exactly sure. You can probably move the IS ninjas back to where you spawned and guillotine throw them, but I don't think that you will delimb them if you're right there on the where the red wood things are at. You can charge an ET at the top of the steps there and at least kill one of them and delimb the other one. Sometimes you can kill both of them. And I always try and charge a UT here. Most of the time you can get it to work, but don't go down too far. And it's basically chaining ETs and UTs up whenever you can, and guillotine throw if you get tagged by an IS. You know, it's basically the same as what it was in Chapter 1. All the strategies still apply. I just want to say one thing though. Chapter 2 is incredibly hard. It took all I had just to be able to make it through it. Like, it was brutal. There is a mini boss fight with Resetsu again, and he has, you know, his IS ninja buddies with him, and I actually questioned myself. I was like, am I going to be able to do this? Like, Chapter 2 it was that bad. But usually, you know, the first first 3 chapters is usually always the hardest, because you're starting out with a low health gauge. All your weapons are at level 1. You know, you don't really have too many resources, so, because this is, you know, a fresh start. This is not like a new game plus where you can carry your other weapons over. Now, I don't know if you noticed or not, but those double doors behind me, there is another fight there that I completely forgot about. It's called the bridge fight, and it has the there's a chest there with the live of the gods, and I completely missed it, so I unfortunately won't be able to collect all of those now. Now, this fight that's occurring now, you have the dogs and the gray ninjas, and the dogs are extremely deadly. If they grab you one time, it's over with. And they also can do, I'm almost 100% sure they can do like a level 4 Dragon Sword Flying Swallow. So basically, the way I deal with these guys is with the Lunar Staff. That's like my weapon of choice. Do an on-landing 360Y, but not like fully charged an ET. Until you can kill a few of them, get some yellow essence up, and you can be able to charge your ETs up. Because most of the time you don't get a chance to get a UT, not unless you have 2 yellow essence, or at least a blue or a red one out. There I had a blue one out, so I was able to charge to a UT. I think all the dogs are dead. So now I'm taking out the gray ninjas, which I think they're archers. Because I think after you kill all the normal enemies, the archers will follow you, and some of them get stuck in like a loop thing. See, I'm sitting here waiting for him, and I can see him over there in the corner, but he's just kind of running in a circle. And I was like, what's going on? But eventually he comes over where I'm at. Take him out, and same thing happens again, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on. Like in chapter 1 though, like where there was some frame rate issues like in my recording, for the most part I think I've got everything fixed in chapter 2, and I also sped up the parts where I was backtracking to a save area. So you shouldn't see any skips or anything in it, you know, other than the fact of the save area where I'd like there'll be edits in the video where I cut out all my deaths, because I died a lot in this chapter. I mean, a ton. So you will still see that, but you know that's just that part there. No, and this part, this is brutal. I mean, honestly, why do they have to put 3 archers there? And that is just BS. What I should have done is save one of my Nimpo, because you can cast it while you're running on the water, and I could at least took one of them out, or maybe 2. But instead I had to use some of my healing items, and I didn't do very good item management. Like, I was basically just using items because I was like, I'm not doing these fights over again. And what I should have done is you know, just kept trying until I got better health after a fight, and then I went and saved it. But I didn't. I was so frustrated with this. But I mean, it's a great game, you know, and you feel rewarded after you know, do good on a fight on Master Ninja. It is tough, but I mean, it is rewarding. Now, I'm not exactly sure how many Ice Ninjas are in this area, but I try my best to do guillotine throws and then charge ETs and UTs, but it was just not working out for me. And I think maybe due to the beams on the ceiling in this room was kind of throwing me off. But after this fight, you get the claws, which are really good, and I was hoping I could have got them leveled up to level 2 before the end of the chapter, and I did manage to do that, but I wish I could have got them a little sooner, because they have an insanely powerful move at level 2. It's the Flying Swallow to Azuna drop. It's incredibly fast. It makes these Ice Ninjas slightly easier. But yeah, I was just doing guillotine throws, ETs, UTs, you know, just the same old thing. And I'm completely out of healing items now. I kept telling myself, I was like, it's a bad idea, dude. Don't use that many healing items. But I was like, I'm just going to deal with it, you know. There is the claws, Falcon Talons. And that chest, I think it could either have bats or yellow essence. I'm not exactly sure. It could be ghost fish. All I know is I got the yellow essence in it. Okay, now this is the Rod of Trials spot. You have to complete this in order to get the Rod of Trials to participate in the Test of Valor. And there's a little trick with this. You can take out all the Ice Ninjas when the battle first starts, and you can run back in here with the where the Falcon Talons were at, and then you can take and open up the door and let a few more in, take them out, and then just keep doing that until they're all dead. There are archers outside, but they won't come anywhere near you, and I think they despawn too. And I was making a mistake about staying too close to the door. I think that leaves the door open, so what you would normally want to do is just run all the way back to the back. See, the door it's not closing, so I think I do run to the back, but I had a crawler. Yeah, that happens a lot too. Now, what I was doing here was I was trying to get as far away of an enemy as I possibly could. That way, my life would regenerate itself. I got tagged, so I should have tried a guillotine throw, which I did attempt it, but where those beams are hanging from the ceiling there, I just couldn't connect with an enemy. See that crawler there? I think he gets stuck in the door. And at this point, I was like, man, how many more are there? They just wouldn't stop coming. I see that crawler, and you know, even though they are slow, they can still throw ice and incinerate shurikens at you. So you know, you got to be cautious with them, like he does there. And if you block it, it doesn't really take too much damage off of you. But if you're not blocking, they'll just destroy you. I know both of them are de-limbed, but I'm trying to get some health back. At this point, I'm hurting like really bad, and I thought I was had whenever I walked out the door because of the archers. And I see him coming, and I'm just kind of like, oh gosh, this is it. I think this is the last dude. But then I see the other claw, and I was like, oh man. I was like, this is ridiculous. So there's actually, I do believe, 2 more. I think that might be the last one. Yeah, like I was on a slither of health, and if I would not have done that OT right then, it would have killed me. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're going to play Master Ninja mode, you better learn how to do some moves with iframes. And I was hoping that he would give me a blue essence, and it didn't happen. But after you complete that fight, it'll say the candles have been lit. You can skip that fight, but if you do, you can't participate in the Test of Valors. And I will say this, that I'm probably not going to play all the Test of Valors because some of them are insanely difficult, and it would cause me to use all of my healing items and everything that I've got, and then I would have to stock back up. So I'm probably going to skip a few of them, because some of them I think you only get like maybe like healing items or something like that. For the most part though, you do get good items like Lives of 1,000 Gods, Jewel of Demon Seals, which will level up your Nimpo, your different Nimpos that you have. Now what I did here is I despawned the archers because I just did not want to deal with them. They're like snipers. They have incredible accuracy, and I just didn't want to deal with them, so I despawned them. I'm pretty sure that chest there If you have maxed out herbs of spiritual life, then I'm pretty sure that it will be blue orbs. So yeah, I got greedy and thought that I could charge an EP or UT up. It didn't happen. You see that I got a blue essence there, so I'm holding block. Let the life recharge before I pick it up. And I know that there is a save statue up close, so I don't think I have any more healing items anyways, but if I did, then I would try not to use them. Because the first time you encounter a save statue, it will heal you first. Yeah, almost had that UT, but they tagged me and knocked me out of it. I don't know if I mentioned this in the first chapter or not, but the reason why I use just the regular shurikens most of the time is sometimes, like when you're jumping, like he'll like jump on a wall or something, and it's hard to do an on-landing charge that way because you just want him to fall to the ground. And if you throw your shurikens, then it'll stop him from clinging to a wall. And also, it stuns enemies, but you know, some enemies in Master Ninja, it just doesn't do anything. So, and when you're going through this area, you will have two ninjas that will sneak up behind you. And I try my best to do a counter attack on these guys, but it just didn't work out. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. So, and I was trying to get some more healing item or blue essence, and it worked out for me. So I was like, okay, this is pretty good. Still good on health. But as soon as you jump up here, you can charge a UT and take out these ninjas. And you've got archers, of course. And I have no idea why I just kind of stayed there. I guess I thought I was on the other side. I got a little confused, got disoriented. Switch back to my dragon sword to try to fly and swallow these guys. Because as long as you're close to them, I mean like really close to them, then they'll try to fight you and they'll put away their bow and arrows. So I was thinking, I was like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and spawn the next fight, but then I was like, no, go back and save it. So what I do is I spawn the fight, run back down, get the IS ninjas out. There's a total of 4. Let's switch back to my dragon sword because I'm going to attempt to fly and swallow these guys. As you can see, it's hard to get close to them. So I'm trying my best to stay in close range with them, and then there should be 2 more that spawn next to you. So I was trying to kill him with normal attacks so I could hopefully get some blue essence, but it didn't work out that way. Because you can do an Azuna drop and it'll still count as a regular attack. And the Azuna drop's that thing I was doing with the sword, you know, throwing them in the air and then coming down, kind of like a pile driver type thing. It's always one of my favorite moves, and the lunar staff has one. I always use like the jump one because different weapons have different Azuna drops, but just different button combinations to get them to go off. But the only time you get iframes with the Azuna drop is just when you're coming down. Yeah, the fight that I'm on right at the moment, it's you have some ice ninjas, and I thought that there was there may not have been a mage. I think that's the fight that's coming up. Yeah, I sped up all of this backtracking stuff because I know no one wanted to see this, and I apologize because I didn't do it in the first chapter. I'm still trying to figure out my editing software. I'm using Sony Vegas Pro 13. And be careful right there with the ninjas in the window because they will hit you. For the most part, you know, you can if you hug up against the wall, they won't hit you. And I kill him, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to drop down and take out this dude, and I'm still like completely low on health. I'm like, my gosh, I ain't gonna be able to do this. I had very low confidence. Now I spawned that fight and then I jumped down because the walls are a little bit closer than up there in the I guess the normal fight where it takes place. Because I always try to get the walls as close to me as possible when I'm fighting the enemies. That way, you know, I can do the guillotine throws. The mages are really dangerous. Like they do have low health, but they make up for it in their magic attack power. And also too, if you delimb one of them, you have to be careful because they will jump out of the ground out of their teleport like so quick and kill you instantly. It doesn't matter how much health you have, like it's just you're dead. You can also hear them like chanting up one of their spells. It's like the fire that comes out of the ground, and that's pretty devastating too. You can visually see them do it too, and if you can, all you need to try to get to them. Either that, or you better start evading. Did get some health, but unfortunately there was still an enemy there, so I couldn't hold block and let my health regenerate. Okay, now you probably noticed that I got all of my Ninpo back. What I did is I did a little bit of essence farming with these mages up top because they will spawn indefinitely as long as you're on the roof. So I just completely skipped them altogether because I didn't have any healing items, and I knew that there was some really tough areas coming up. And if I would have kept going on, I probably wouldn't have been able to make it, and I would have screwed myself up completely, and probably would have had to start the game over again. It's also good to have multiple saves too of one area. That way, in case you do screw up, that you can always go back to a prior save and try to do better. Don't always overwrite your save. As you can see, I saved several slots there. Okay, I got the bow, and The bow also has a ET and UT charge, which comes in handy dealing with the archers. Okay, now this next fight is mid-boss Resetsu from the end of Chapter 1. It's basically the same fight. It's a closed-in area, though, that kind of makes it a lot more tougher. I ended up using, I think, most of my healing items on him. You can charge an ET up, but I wouldn't go for anything more than that. It would have been ideal if I would have had more Nimpo, but I used it on the archers. And basically you just want to try your best to get ETs and UTs. This is a really tough fight. You see he grabbed me and just about every bit of my health is gone. And what I was trying to do in this fight was I was trying to kill as many IS ninjas as I possibly could and get some yellow essence, or at least a red or a blue essence out. That way I could do a 360 Y ultimate technique on Resetsu, because it does a massive amount of damage to him. It almost takes like probably more than half of his health out. But I just couldn't do it. There was just so much stuff going on, so I was like, okay, I'm just going to try to focus as much as I can. And he should have went into like OT status there more sooner than what he did, but I eventually got him, and then you have to take out his buddies because they don't despawn when he's dead. So you gotta make sure that you still have enough health to take those guys out. There is a chest behind me. It contains ghost fish. I'm thinking it can have other things in it too, but normally though you do want the ghost fish to come out of the box. Reason being is because, I think I said this in Chapter 1, that they won't attack until you attack. So you can charge a UT up and kill them all, and they will give you 6,000 essence. I do go back and get that chest though. I think I didn't do a UT on them though, because I was trying to get some health or Nimpo, I think it was. You got that one guy, and after you kill him, then you have your save area. So at this point, I've got full health. I don't have to worry about fighting Resetsu over again. Okay, now this is like the room with the I guess the jewel symbols. I'm not sure what the actual term is for them. But as soon as you gain control of Ryu again, aim to the left to take out one of the archers, and there's some more on the right side. But you can hug against the wall there, and you can sneak up just a little bit at a time, and you should be able to pick them off. But you don't want to get too close though, because they will kill you. See, I was out too close, and he got me. There's one that tries to hide over in the very far left, and I was trying to figure out where he was at. I knew he was there, but and then, you know, he got me again, so. I apologize too. I know this part's kind of boring, but I didn't want to speed it up because I just wanted to show everyone the process, you know, that I was using to kill these guys. And you can shoot them with an arrow, and then have enough time to charge an ET, and that'll delimb them. And I don't think that they can actually shoot you. So I opened up the chest, and there was the ghost fish. And like I said, I can't remember if there's anything else that spawns in that chest. Now, I didn't speed up the save area stuff here because it was, you know, it's like really close, so. And I completely forgot about the ice ninjas spawning there. Like, I guess whenever I jumped on the wall to try to wall run over there, which I failed miserably at, they spawned. So it did. I did find out that this little trick just because of that. You know, like, you can just stay here and shoot them with UT arrows. It does take a little while, but you know, it's always better to be safe. They can still hit you with those incendiary shurikens. So I was just trying to time it. I wasn't doing a very good job. I think he tried to hit me with it, but he missed, so I was like, okay, I think that's all of them there. So I did go back and save it, because, you know, I didn't want to have to redo that fight if something happened, then I died. Oh, I think I actually make it over there this time. There's a devil way mushroom on a dead body, and also too, if you don't have the crystal skull, I think it's on the shelf to the left of me. But I've gotten all of them besides one for some strange reason. I don't know where it would be located at, not unless it's in some of the later chapters. But you can charge a UT at that, I guess, doorway there. I'm not exactly sure what you would call them things. And they won't attack you through it, so you can always take advantage of that. I think I was trying to get some more blue essence there, and it just didn't work out. So I got the last jewel, and I break those. I don't know, I just, if I see something breakable, I have to do it. It's just an old habit, you know, back in the NES days.
You don't actually have to aim at that. You can just auto aim, do a UT on it. It drops the platform, and you can go proceed to the next area. So we're almost at the end of this chapter. And this next area on the roof, you'll have some more mages. I equip the claws, trying to do the flying swallowtails in a drop move, which works out pretty good. I missed it that one. I missed it there too. But, as you can see, it's really quick. Like if you can perfect it, it's devastating. It also helps too if you do the I think the XA move. I think it's called the wind path. I may be wrong on that, but it'll target the closest enemy, and then you can do the flying swallowtails in a drop, which makes it a little easier, because if you're just trying to do it blindly, then most of the time you won't do no flying swallow with the claws, because it's not like the dragon sword. The dragon sword will do it regardless. I was like, okay, that was a good fight, so I'll go back and save it. Now you can't fall off the roof here. Now you could earlier, where I was telling you about, like, where they were on the roof where I was farming for essence. Now you can fall off the roof there, but you can't on this one. I just keep jumping and attacking this archer I see back there. That way there'll be one less enemy that I have to deal with when I actually go in this room. It takes, I think about 16 arrows maybe. And then I do I think it was a EP on that archer, dealing him, that way he won't be shooting at me. Do a UT on that archer, so I should be free of those dudes. And trying to do the flying swallow, you know, with the Zena drop, but it wasn't working out for me. So I get my second Lives of 1,000 Gods. I already used my first one, unfortunately. There is a save area and Maramasa shop on the other side. You have one more fight before you go on to the boss. Just, you know, more of the same. I assume just deal with them. Guillotine throws. ETs, UTs, those in a drop. Now, those double doors there, those sliding doors, is where the boss area is at. But what happened was is I went and saved, and I went back to try to fight him, and I ended up dying. So you'll see a cut in the video where it automatically goes to the boss fight, and that happens whenever you die at a boss and you try to continue. it'll automatically go back to the boss fight. You know, you won't go back to the save statue and then you don't have to wander back into the boss room. So if you see that, that's what's going on. So this is Genshin. He is the leader of the Black Spider Clan, and he is also Gamoth's brother, the guy from Ninja Gaiden Black. You have 4 ice ninjas in this room, thankfully, and just deal with them, you know, however you want. I use the claws, you know, with the flying swallow to a Zuna drop move, and it seemed to work pretty good. But whatever you do, don't try to flying swallow or jump in the air when Genshin is anywhere close to you, because he will knock you out of the air every time. So what I'm doing here is I'm using the Lunar Staff with the XXY combo, and it does a really good amount of damage to him, especially, you know, the end hit with the Y. And I'm just blocking, you know, waiting for his combos, and then waiting on the best time to attack. Normally I can do this without using any healing items, but I hadn't actually played him in a long time. So you can usually, after he tries to do his flying swallow, you can usually get in the combo. But there's not really much more to say on this chapter. It's just, it was incredibly difficult. I would say chapter 2 is probably the worst one for me. That and chapter 11, oh my god, I dread that one so bad. There's just so much stuff going on in chapter 11, but I'm working on chapter 3 now, and it's not as bad so far. I'm hoping I can get it uploaded pretty quickly. But he's got just a few more hits and then he's dead. But I hope you guys enjoyed chapter 2 as much as I loved trying to play it. But anyways, I'll see you guys in chapter 3. Thanks for watching.